Let's lock in. This video may not take that long because it's basically overkill in a redundant statement. But Alexander Usyk is the greatest heavyweight and cruiserweight of this generation and one of the 10 greatest fighters of all time. Now, let's just knock this out of the bag. He was undisputed at cruiserweight. He beat Breedis, and Breedis is so good. Jai Apataya is great, and he's a dominant cruiserweight. And Breedis gave Jai Apataya all he can handle twice. The first fight, he broke his jaw. The second fight, he gave Apataya all that he can handle. And truthfully, I think that when Usyk, flirts with the idea of going back down to cruiserweight, I think Jai Apataya is the challenge he's looking at and saying, you know what, I think I want to fight him, because after I've cleaned out the heavyweight division, the only challenge left is Apataya. That's the way I see it. But I don't want Usyk to go back down to cruiserweight. But the point I'm saying is Apataya is that good. Breedis is that good. And Usyk beat Breedis, and Usyk was undisputed at cruiserweight. Then he moves up to heavyweight. He beats Derek Ward Chisora, which is the gatekeeper. But Derek Ward Chisora is a strong gate. He's a gate that, he's going to keep a lot of those criminals out, right? like some gates are easy to get past. Now, Chisora is a sturdy gate. Chisora is that gate that lasted 5 years longer than they anticipated, because Chisora is that gate is still going strong right now. Okay, so Derek Chisora is a sturdy gate, and Usyk came up and he beat Derek. Then he went and he beat Anthony Joshua twice. Now, this is why it's important that he beat Anthony Joshua twice to me. Anthony Joshua was the one who gathered all the belts. He's the one who went on a great run to get all the belts and collect the belts. That's important in the history of Usyk and in the heavyweight division. And this is important to remember for a segment I'm going to get into later. But that's important because Usyk was able to win 3 belts in one fight against Anthony Joshua, which he did. He won 3 belts in one fight by beating Anthony Joshua. So in the rematch, you know that he was going to get the best version of Anthony Joshua. He was going to get a motivated version of Anthony Joshua. He was going to get an Anthony Joshua who wanted to get back everything he worked hard for. Because at that point, Usyk had lifted everything that Anthony Joshua had worked hard for from him. So in the rematch, you know he's going to see the best version of Anthony Joshua. And in fact, he did. That 9th round was hell for Usyk. And I remember Usyk saying, people from my country are going to remember the 9th round where someone really went after me, really tried to take me down, and I had to overcome it to win. I remember him saying that. That's how tough it was for him. But he overcame it and he won. He beat the best version of Anthony Joshua. To me, there is no doubt, was the rematch. That was the best version of Anthony Joshua, and he beat him. The Daniel Dubois controversy really isn't controversy to me. It's controversy to some. I think it was a low blow. People want to argue belt line, whatever. I'm not going to get into it. I thought it was a low blow. It was called a low blow. I'm just going to roll with the facts. Daniel Dubois lost. But Daniel Dubois proved how great he was later on by beating Anthony Joshua. And although he was known as Triple Knee and the Quitter, which those names weren't unwarranted, it's not like they were unjustified. Like, you were justified in saying he was a quitter because, honestly, I hate the word quitter, but there was evidence to support that claim, right? The Joe Joyce fight, the way he looked against Lorena, and then after the Usyk fight, there was still evidence to support that because a jab made him take a knee and he was done, right? Now, he comes back and he beats Big Baby Miller. He beats Philip Hergovich, and then he goes on to beat Anthony Joshua. That makes the Usyk win even better. So now that win, which before looked like Usyk just dispatched of a quitter and made a quitter quit, he actually tamed the young bull who went on to win the vacant title over a guy who Anthony Joshua, many people saw as, one of the best. So there's that, right? Now, He goes on and he fights Tyson Fury. He beats Tyson Fury, right? And he beats Tyson Fury, and Tyson Fury may not have been at his best. We know Tyson Fury may not have been at his best because we saw his road to the Usyk fight, where he fought Dillian White, Derek Ward Chisora for a third time for no reason at all. And he flipped out if you questioned it because it was just true. Like, why are you fighting? Right, we understood Dillian White's mandatory, right? So okay, why are you fighting Derek Ward Chisora again? Then from Derek Ward Chisora, he went to Francis Ngannou, and then messed around and got dropped by Francis Ngannou, and then from there went to fighting Usyk. While Usyk was fighting real competition all the way through, Usyk goes in there and Usyk beats him, right? You think, okay, if he goes now and beats Fury now, because just like what I said with Anthony Joshua, this time you know Fury's motivated. Fury, first of all, Fury was undefeated. He always said he's the best of the generation, and no man born from his mother can beat Tyson Fury. No man with earrings can beat Tyson Fury, right? No puffed up middleweight can beat Tyson Fury. This is all the things that he said. Then he lost to Usyk. Although in his mind, he thinks he won the fight. Again, another close fight. To me, that fight was closer. There's more of an argument for Tyson Fury in the first fight than there was in the rematch, in my personal opinion. Now, he feels like he lost that fight, but he knows he wasn't doing his best. Like, he knows that he wasn't really staying active the way he should have been. He knows he was cutting corners. He knows he was taking, these easy touches where he basically had a good idea he was going to win as soon as he signed on the dotted line. So this was the first time Fury was going to step in the ring with some adversity since the Wilder rematch. And for me, I felt like we were going to see the best version of Tyson Fury. And in fact, I do believe we saw the best version of Tyson Fury. Don't be fooled by the love handles. That's how Fury is. That's just, body composition, the way people are built. But you saw he was able to hold the center of the ring, and he didn't get hurt like he did in the first fight. And some people may say it was that beard, right? He was allowed to keep that beard. I don't think it was the beard. I think it was the fact he kept his hand up and he knew the punch was coming. And that's the thing. That's what makes matches harder. He knew Fury's overhand left, and Usyk knew his uppercut was his best weapon, and they neutralized it. And that's the thing with really good boxers. But the point is, Usyk went in there against the best version of Anthony Joshua and beat him. He went in there against the best version of Tyson Fury. So he beat him twice, which means that the second time they stepped in the ring, both of these guys were on high alert. And prior to Usyk fighting them, we were talking about Anthony Joshua like he might be the best of the generation. We were talking about Tyson Fury like he might be the best of the generation. And at one point, even Wilder was in that discussion, Usyk went in there and spanked 2 of the 3, not once, but twice. And at some point, he got the best version of them. He just beat them. He's just better. No one can debate that. So that is that. Put it to bed. Now, in the span of all-time greatness, you look at Usyk's career, he's won it at every level. Olympic gold medalist. Check. Undisputed cruiserweight champion. Check. Undisputed heavy champion. Check. Undefeated as a professional. You can't do any more than what this man has done. And I get it, you want to compare him to Ghost, you can compare him to Ghost. But what I know is, in terms of accomplishments, he's done it all. In terms of beating the best available opponents that he could face, he's done that. He's done that. There's no one missing. There's no one missing from his resume, right? You think of like Lewis and Bo. We never got to see that fight. We know, but Bo was a bad boy. And a lot of people are like, oh, he vacated the title because he was scared of Lennox Lewis. That's not true. And I'm made a video on that before. What the WBC told Riddick Bowe was that he had like 30 days to Lennox, right? And if he couldn't make the fight with Lennox, then they were going to take his title. And he couldn't make the fight with Lennox, so he threw the title in the trash and said, "Take it." That's a contingency. You can't. And if I was Lennox, not to say Lennox is afraid of Riddick Bowe, but they told this dude, if you don't fight in 30 days, they're going to strip him of the title. I would make it difficult for him to make the fight. I'd make sure 31 days, and then I'm the champ, and then we can talk, and I fight you for the title back. So I'm not here to go back and argue through history, because to me, Lennox Lewis is over Riddick Bowe. My point is that we just never got to see the fight, and it's one that we'll always regret. It's one we'll always miss, because regardless of the outcome, it was going to be massive, because they fought for the gold medal in the Olympics when Lennox was fighting for Canada, and Lennox beat him in '88. So, anyways, the point I'm making is we don't have that on Usyk's resume. Usyk has everyone. He doesn't have that opponent that got away, the one where people could always wonder. Regardless of how great we think Lennox is, there's always people who are going to think Riddick Bowe could have beaten him. And regardless of what you think of Riddick Bowe, there's always going to be people who feel like Lennox would have beaten him. But we could have gotten that answer, and we never did. We don't have those questions with Usyk. And anyone saying Deontay Wilder is a question mark, stop it. After what happened with Joseph Parker and after what happened with Jang, if you still think that, like, I can't even have a discussion with you. This man is solidified himself. He's hands down the best heavyweight of this generation. So the best heavyweight of this generation is from the Ukraine. The best heavyweight of this generation is Oleksandr Usyk. And Ukraine has been dominating the heavyweight division. At one point, it looked like the best heavyweight of this generation may come UK, but we now know the 10-year reign from Usyk, the 10-year reign from Klitschko, Fury came in, took out Klitschko when he was a bit older. Anthony Joshua took out Klitschko when he was a bit older. It catapulted them. The entire time, though, there was a guy sparring with Klitschko, getting kicked out of Klitschko's camp, who was just waiting for his body to fill in so that he can move up to heavyweight and show that the best heavyweight of this generation was actually him the entire time. And now we could put all of these things to bed. The greatest heavyweight, the greatest cruiserweight of his generation, Oleksandr Usyk, all-time great. Top 10 in my personal opinion. I'm not going to get into disrespecting people and who I put them over, because I don't like to have those type of discussions. My point is, if someone tells you that they think Oleksandr Usyk is one of the 10 greatest fighters that ever lived, you make the argument to prove that he's not. And I'm telling you, it's going to be a very hard argument for you to make. I'm not even entertaining that argument. I already know his credentials speak for itself. So salute Oleksandr Usyk. Anything else you do now is icing on the cake. Daniel Dubois stepped in the ring, said he wants to fight Usyk again. He has a task at hand, and we're going to get into that. Would I like to see Usyk fight again? Up to him. He's a great talent. I'd love to see him fight again. But what I would hate to see is Father Time catch up to Usyk, because he is 37 years old, and someone he would normally dispatch of easily beat him, and then have the claim like, oh, I took out the generational talent, I took out the best, and now I'm the best. I hate when that happens, when great fighters stay too long. But based on last night's performance, I think he has another good one in him if he wanted to 1 or 2 more fights. But personally, I would love to see him get out of the game unscathed and just leave the game with that record intact, because that would only elevate him, in my personal opinion. But let me know what you think in the comment section. Like, share, subscribe. Is Cadence Kerfuffle available on all major streaming services? So check it out. If you can't get to watch the video, you can listen to it on all major streaming services. Hit the like button. It's Caden. I'm out. Peace.